All right, Bill Maher may be one of President Trump's most vocal critics, but that didn't stop him from getting an invitation to dinner at the White House last night.
So how did it go? Music superstar Kid Rock arranged it all, and he joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning, kids.
Good morning. All right, tell us what happened from start to finish in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, I went on Bill's show. I went on his podcast, and I said, man, you know, nothing happens if people don't break bread together and meet face to face. He's been one of the president's hardest critics. And we came to dinner, me, Bill, Dana White, and it could not have been better. Everyone was so surprised, so pleasant. The most shocking thing to me was, you know, Bill's obviously a very big liberal, been very hard on the president, but he's donated a lot of money to other politicians. You know, you've had Biden, Clinton, Obama, everybody. He had never been to the White House, and the president was so gracious. He took us up to the private residence. We saw the Gettysburg Address in the Lincoln bedroom, and I was like, you've never been here, Bill? And I was like, how about this? President Trump, you know, extending this olive branch, and we talked about things we had in common, you know, ending wokeness, you know, securing the border. Right. You know, the president was asking him what he thought about policy, you know, going on with Iran and Israel and things. It just meant it blew my mind. It was right. I was, you know, very, very proud.
The latest, you know, what do you call it? Obeying in advance, bending the knee. Yep. The White House Correspondents' Dinner. They fired Amber Ruffin as who, by the way, was pretty outwardly, you know, not a Trump fan. So I don't know what they were expecting. But earlier this week, Ruffin, who has a history of mocking Trump, appeared on a podcast where she noted that the WHCA leaders asked her to both sides the comedy, which she refused to do. Good for her. Yeah. Because that makes them, presumably the Trump regime, feel like they're human beings, but they shouldn't get to feel that way because they're not. I mean, thank you. She said she didn't want to mock random media people at the event. Rather, I care that like you're kind of a bunch of murderers. I mean, it cannot be understated how serious what's happening is. And both siding it is how we got here. So good for her.
I agree. This is the White House Correspondents Association. Maybe they didn't realize, but correspondence in your title. You're supposed to be journalist. You're not supposed to lay down to leadership. You're supposed to challenge the leadership. Eugene Daniels, the head of the White House Correspondents Association, when he announced hiring Amber Ruffin just last month, in February, just 6 weeks ago, put in a statement about how great she was. She understands what we need in the time in this country in a challenging time. Then she goes on that podcast, and then Taylor Bodovich, who was the deputy chief of staff for Trump, slams her on Friday, slamming her, saying from those comments you read that she's inciting violence against Trump and all this stuff. So the next day, Eugene Daniels says, we fired her, and it was unanimous by the board. And then he tries to defend it with this BS, saying things like, well, we were thinking of re-envisioning the dinner the last few weeks. You just hired her a month ago. Now you're going to re-envision the dinner? Yeah. You've been president of the White House Correspondents Association since last July. Now, just 2 weeks before your dinner, you're thinking of re-envisioning it? Keep your lies for someone else. We're more journalists than they are. We know what it's BS. That's BS. That was a cover story. And it was a business decision. You're right. Look, he's corporate media. They're corporate media people. He's an MSNBC guy.
Comedians are doing a better job of journalism, of truth-telling than anybody else, including you and Fugelsang and all the late-night shows. I mean, you said comedians can tell the truth through comedy that others might not be permitted to. That's why autocrats fear comedians. You said in Russia, joking about political issues is no longer possible since the Ukraine war. Well, he wants to be Putin. This whole idea of Vance running and then stepping down, Putin did that. I mean, that's exactly what he wants.
Absolutely. And my friend Bassem Youssef, as I note in the article, he was known as the John Stewart of the Middle East. He had to flee Egypt, and now he lives in exile here in the U.S. because he made fun of Sisi, the leader of Egypt, who Trump calls his favorite dictator. That's what they want. Dictators don't want to be laughed at. They want to be feared. That's why Trump never would go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah. He does not want to be a punchline. He wants you to be afraid of them. Yeah. All dictators want you to fear them, not laugh at them. And that's what we're dealing with. The same exact cloth. He's cutting the exact same cloth.
By the way,
but to me, the White House Correspondents given in is indefensible.
Yeah, and you make the larger point. It's not just, you said is what's going on. Daniels and the WHCA, like law firms, other corporations, universities, and more, choose to surrender to Trump because it serves their interest to do so. First, these people should know that appeasement of fascists never works. Thank you. especially if you're part of a group that fascist leaders' base already despises, like journalists. And then you talk about the ABC bending the knee, right? And then you said, how much peace did that buy ABC Disney? About 3 months. This past Friday, the FCC chair ordered an investigation into them because of DEI something, whatever. So, you know, Joe and Mika went and bent the knee, and he's slamming them and humiliating them a day later. Like, what do you think this gets you? These two law firms that are going to do pro bono work for this
Paul Weiss and Skadden
felon?
are two of the biggest, most powerful law firms in America. Everyone knows it, not the world.
Yeah.
They should have stood up and fought. And again, you know, ABC paid Donald Trump $15 million in December to settle a bogus defamation lawsuit, thinking it was good for their business model. Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, on Friday announces we're investigating ABC and Disney for not only current practices of hiring, but past, meaning it's going to cost them millions of dollars in legal fees and fines. And if they do any bad coverage of Trump, he's going to fine them even more. This is a send a message to silence dissent. We've never lived with a presidential administration trying to silence dissent in this scope. Ever. Never been like this.
Yeah.
This is unreal.
I mean, you said self-censorship and obeying in advance are the dictator's best friend. Sadly, the WHCA just helped Trump move our nation one step closer to authoritarian dreams. Again, and falls on us to save our republic. You know, the latest one, Doug Emhoff's, Kamala Harris's husband, his firm is said to be Trump's next target. And again, there are people, as I say every day, Dean, modeling courage. There are people modeling cowardice, and both are contagious. I hope this firm does not bend the knee, right?
I hope not. They have the power. They're going to win it. They already got a restraining order against the two other firms, got restraining orders against Trump. He's literally using the apparatus of government to punish law firms if they represent his political enemies. Even Richard Nixon only went after his enemies. Right. He didn't go after the law firms who represented his enemies. This is worse than Nixon. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it's comical, but
the Mueller law firm, he didn't even work there anymore. He worked there years ago. Like, it's insane. By the way, rule of law, one last one before you go. You said a French court has found Marine Le Pen guilty in an embezzlement case. Le Pen, the far-right figurehead, has failed 3 times in her attempt to be president. With this guilty verdict, she may be barred from taking part of future elections. That's how it's done, people.
Yep. And the Trump administration yesterday slammed the French government for doing this. He might sanction France. We might not be able to go to Paris. That was my plan for my retirement. I was going to go live in Paris.
Retirement.
My retirement. Exactly.
Now your retirement is going to be miserable.
It's going to be in Louisiana in a detention
center.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to Jersey. Come find me, ICE. I'm in Jersey. Good luck. Jersey people are going to stand up to you. I'm not that worried. So I love Jersey. Yeah.
All right. Dean's got to go because he's busy and important, and he hosts the Dean Obadala Show right here on Sirius XM 127. We love you, Dean. Thanks for your time, as always.
Guys.
Mwah.
Thanks, Dean.
Happy disappearing.
Love you guys.
Are you a yo-yo dieter? You diet, you lose weight, you gain it all back, plus a few extra pounds. Then later you lose it and you regain it again and again. I've been there. It's dangerous. Studies show that you can increase your risk of heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and other health problems. Breaking free of your yo-yo diet pattern is a main reason doctors created Lean. Lean is a supplement, not an injection, and you don't need a prescription. My nephew Robin is using it and has already lost a significant amount of weight. The science behind Lean is impressive. It is studied natural ingredients target weight loss in 3 powerful ways. Lean helps maintain a healthy blood sugar. That helps you control appetites and cravings. And it helps burn fat by converting fat into energy. Listen, if you're tired of losing weight and gaining it back and you want to lose a meaningful weight at a healthy pace, Lean was created just for you. Let me get you started. 20% off when you enter the code Stephanie20 at takelean.com. One more time, that code is Stephanie20 at takelean.com.